Hello and welcome everyone. This is Iron Port, a program that has been designed to bring Ghana's ports and maritime industry closer to you. It is proudly brought to you by Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL, PLC Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. This program is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, this week we interacted with officials from the Ghana Maritime Authority on the new Cabotage Law. This cabotage system ensures that ships doing business in Ghanaian waters employ majority of their crewmen from Ghana. Let us hear more on cabotage from the GMA.
Tell us about the Cabotage Law. We understand the implementation has begun. Is that right?
Like you mentioned earlier, is to make the local trade the preserve of Ghanaians, the indigenous. So 75% of ratings, and then also 50% of officers within on the vessels are supposed to go to Ghanaians. And this is to ensure that we have a fair share of job opportunities within the industry. We are doing it both with the merchant and then the fishing vessels as well.
The ratings and officers are the various categories of workers on board a vessel.
Right.
And to ensure that Ghanaians or Ghanaian seafarers enjoy the full benefits of the cabotage regulations, it is strictly enforced. Now, what happens here is that we do a crew analysis of all the vessels that are in our local waters,
right,
to ensure that there is compliance to this 50% of these seafarers.
Right.
Then, in line with that also, the cabotage regulations makes room for equal pay for equal work.
Okay.
Yeah, what it means is that, for example, if there's a foreign national on board a vessel and he's doing he's the same rank as a Ghanaian, the LI ensures that they take the same salary.
Okay.
And all those things are enforced.
So if you're on board a vessel and there's somebody from, let's say, Singapore, and I'm from Ghana, we must earn the same salary.
Yes. I mean, if you are all ratings,
yes,
you must earn the same salary.
right. Okay. So that's what it basically ensures.
No, there's also the issue of vessels that operate within Ghana's jurisdiction.
Are these vessels that fly Ghana, that sail Ghana's flags?
No, for now,
Registered
we
in
have,
Ghana.
for the offshore industry, we have a vessel that fly Ghana's flag,
Right.
Flat Confidence. But then the law makes room for a cabotage registration certificate to be issued to foreign vessels that intend to come and operate. Some of the conditions or requirements for the registration of such a vessel is that it should be a JV, or it should even be a Ghanaian-owned company.
JV, when you say JV?
A joint venture.
Okay.
There's a kind of a sharing agreement. I mean, share a ratio where we would see, and that will still give the Ghanaian advantage. It is hoped that as time goes on,
is there, in terms of the sharing, the joint ventureship, how, like as an indigent, what's supposed to be my percentage?
well, we actually said the company should be a Ghanaian company.
Okay.
So definitely all the
Directors?
all the legal requirements that makes a company a Ghanaian
Must be met.
company is what we look at.
Okay.
And it also applies to almost all the vessels, oil tankers, offshore support vessels, passenger vessels. And there's one thing unique about the law. It says that any other craft or vessel used for carriage on,
Yes.
through, or underwater of a person, property, or any substance. So in this regard, even sometimes, pipelines are now the new modes of transportation in certain areas. When it comes, cabotage will still apply to.
Tell us, apart from taking care of the, what do we call it, the ensuring fairness, so to speak, for the ratings and officers on the vessel or crew, so to speak, and also ensuring that perhaps the business is a joint venture, a JV, like you said, and partly owned by Ghanaian, and that the company must be Ghanaian. What are some of the details enshrined in the law?
Okay, let me correct.
Yeah,
so let me correct. I mean, it should be a Ghanaian company. Yeah, some of the details of the law, of course, is about the eligibility and, of course, their application.
Yes.
I mean, naval vessels and government vessels are not included. And then it covers also fishing vessels as well.
Okay.
Now, there is also an exemption clause in the regulations. If I say exemption, what it means is that if you are bringing a vessel and there is none on the cabotage register, you can apply for exemption. You may have to apply for exemption.
Right.
Also, when there is a salvage operation, which of course is a one-time thing, you have to also apply for exemption. Again, when it comes to the manning requirements, and after a thorough look of the database of Ghanaians, of the Ghanaian Seafarer Register, if those ranks you are looking for are not available, and you want to bring in a foreign national, you have to apply for an exemption.
Right.
There is also an enforcement regime to ensure that the cabotage regulations are enforced. Currently, there is a cabotage enforcement team in place and trying to streamline the operation. And the last but not the least, there is a fine and penalties regime for offenders who flout the regulation.
Well, prior to the coming into force or coming into being of the Cabotage Law, what was the situation like? If you can walk us through, and perhaps at some point if Mr. Kwachi would come in.
Okay, so prior to that, we had the Ghana Shipping Act, but there wasn't that restrictions. So we had foreigners coming into our waters to work, and especially within the oil and gas industry. So that was what pertained prior to that. So what the cabotage does is to restrict, and also the objective is to offer opportunities for skill transfer. So gradually over a period of time, then Ghanaians should take over the industry, where there are instances where you have Ghanaians not having the skill, then they would have to take up those Ghanaians, and within a certain period of time, you will have to ensure knowledge transfer so that these Ghanaians will be equipped with that skill. So that over a period of time, the Ghanaians will take over within that industry. For instance, if you take over our fishing industry, you realize that we have a number of foreigners in there. I don't want to mention the nationality, but and even at the rating level, we have a lot of Filipinos in there. So what this LI 2438 try to do is to ensure that over a period of time, Ghanaians will take over such...
they will face out the foreign national
expatriates. Okay. I don't want to say face out, but they will acquire the necessary expertise, competence, and then, yes, they will take over those areas. And then we also have to look at it within a certain context. Also, security-wise, it's okay that we have such a law in place to protect our maritime space.
All right, so that was the Ghana Maritime Authority on the good news of cabotage. Now let us pick a few comments on the subjects we have just discussed. After we go on break, we'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Our Mohammed from RME says, I would like to commend the Maritime Services Division of the GMA for their outstanding work under the proactive leadership of the new director. His commitment to taking good initiatives is paving the way towards greater achievements and excellence in the maritime industry. We appreciate their dedication and innovative approach towards driving positive change. Keep up the great work. Kwamina from Takoradi says, kudos to GMA for making this cabotage regime see the light of the day. I would like to know how they will ensure full compliance when the August 1st enforcement date comes. How will they ensure that vessels doing business within Ghanaian waters use 75% of ratings and 50% of officers from Ghana? Hello, Kwamina. This response comes from Mr. Kwachi.
There's been visitation of the cabotage enforcement team on board vessels that operate in Ghana's maritime space, informing them of their need. Our officials go and then they inform them of their need to regularize their cabotage registration. It will interest you to know that because we have licensed seafarer recruitment and placement service providers who employ directly to the vessels here, we make sure they comply. We go on board, as I said earlier on, we go on board, conduct crew analysis using the percentages as in the cabotage law. Now, what we are not doing is that if there is a shortage of a particular rank, we advise them to start looking for. So there's been ample time.
Heyman, no be me taking number first. By you. You tell me say take the number give me.
Guys, no, I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, feel me tank na mo ati. Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Blow up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for na buajungwa mami.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy. Goyle is good energy.
Electricity, pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back, viewers. Now let us hear a few other stories from our local shipping and maritime sector. Meridian Port Services Limited, the operator of the world-class Terminal 3 at the Port of Tema, has introduced a cutting-edge equipment simulator designed to test and refine the skills and competencies of operators at the terminal. On Wednesday, June 26, 2024, the Chief Executive Officer of MPS, Mohammed Samara, and his management team met with representatives of key stakeholder organizations, including the Director of the Port of Tema, Sandro Poku, to unravel this first-of-its-kind edifice at the Port of Tema. He later explained how investment into this sophisticated infrastructure and more tie into the overall strategy to boost efficiency and the competitiveness of the Port of Tema.
I mean, to be able to sell ourselves as a hub port, we have to meet, certain standards that are globally being offered in the big hubs, by various ports in various countries, and we have to give or match that service level, if not exceed it, for us to actually anchor some services over here. For example, the crane productivity, not only the berth productivity, has to be tip-top. The safety in handling the equipment has to be really, really good, with inflicting no damage whatsoever to cargo, and also handling it in the fastest possible way for a quick turnaround of vessels.
The human resource manager at MPS, Julia Aqua, intimated that this equipment simulator will add to the company's various avenues provided to optimize skills development of the workforce.
With this simulator, we are mainly looking at upskilling the skills and competencies of our existing workforce. So this gives you a picture of what it looks like out there, environment of what it would feel like out there. So when you sit behind a console, you get to experience exactly what is happening out there. Now, this offers our employees the opportunity to make corrections, learn new skills and better ways of working. This hence reduces accidents out there.
The head of operations at MPS, Emmanuel Ohiniado, expressed excitement towards the support the board and shareholders have given MPS over recent years, and assure them that these efforts will be adequately rewarded.
I would like to take opportunity as the operations manager to actually assure the management, assure the board and shareholders that we are ever ready to maximize the use of this simulator so that we can give out the best of service to our customers.
The leadership of the Workers' Union also expressed their gratitude to management for the opportunity to interact with modern learning tools.
Continuous improvement is something we have always yearned for. And so to have an equipment like this to help improve workers' skill here, I think it is something we embrace with all our hearts.
MPS Terminal 3 at the Port of Tema currently boasts of 12 ship-to-shore gantry cranes and 35 electric rubber-tie gantry cranes, among several other cargo-moving equipment. With a 127-hectare container yard area, a 1.4-kilometer berthing area with depth of -16 meters chart datum, capable of receiving the largest class of vessels in the world, and an annual yard capacity of 2 million TEUs, the Port of Tema continues to consolidate its enviable position as a hub port on the west coast of Africa. Members of the Board of Directors of the Gambia Ports Authority have praised the leadership role the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has assumed in its business development activities. In addition to the success chalked by the authority in port concession arrangements, the group was particularly impressed with the incorporation of health services into the business development strategy of GPHA. They made this known when they visited the port of Tema on a benchmarking exercise that seeks to monitor port concessions at Ghana's ports. According to the Gambia Ports Authority, this study will provide valuable insights and best practices that will enhance and strengthen their knowledge and skills in managing port concessions and landlord responsibilities. The 5-day visit aligns with the policies of the Port Management Association of West and Central Africa, which recommends member states to interlearn best practices from each other. They toured one of GPHA's flagship business units, the International Maritime Hospital, a one-stop tertiary health facility that serves Ghana's maritime industry and beyond. Led by the hospital administrator Adam Musa, the staff of Heyman apprised the delegation on how the hospital is being positioned to provide world-class healthcare for Ghanaians and non-Ghanaians.
We are very grateful at their coming. This is one of the exposures for Heyman. At least what they see here, they will take it along and then present it in Gambia and let the Gambian community know there is a healthcare facility here which is high. That can help them in most of the healthcare needs.
The delegation registered their pleasure at the success of Heyman.
We are very much impressed in what we have seen. The services and the facilities located here. Part of the visit today is actually as part of a study tour to actually look at the maritime subsector and to see how we can actually learn and see what Ghana is doing and how we, as the ministry responsible for transport and public policy, we can actually help to actually develop our subsector.
And we feel very, very impressed that such a facility exists, that we can, in collaboration with the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, be able to work out some form of relationship that referrals, from the Gambia can also be sent here in the meantime.
A befitting send-off parade has been held in honor of Deputy Chief Fire Officer Edward Evans Heyman, who has retired from his post as the Fire and Safety Manager at the Port of Tema. The ceremony was attended by staff and management of GPHA, members of the Ghana National Fire Service, and other key stakeholders within the port community. DCFO Edward Heyman, whose service with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority lasted for 41 years, is considered one of the linchpins of the Fire and Safety Department of the Port of Tema, where he has headed since 2018 to date. Before then, he had served in several official capacities at the Fire and Safety section of GPHA, both in Tema and Takoradi, in addition to his early years with the Marine Engineering Department. DCFO Edward Heyman is remembered for his dedication to employee continuous development and a penchant for occupational health and safety, and he reminded fire officers of the need to stay committed.
I believe in education and self-development. I have been talking and advising most staff to take academic education program in relation to their department, of which it will help them to improve on their work and create opportunity for them on a higher responsibilities. After a lengthy talk with my team, then I deduced a style to start talking to them on self-development to educate themselves on a distance program. Because I was personally pursuing other programs by then. This brought about a good teamwork on the job within the department, etc. The men are doing well. We wish you all well. Long live Fire Safety Department, long live GPHA, long live Mother Ghana.
He received glowing tributes for his 4 decades of dedicated service to the organization and profession.
Dear Chief, your leadership has been truly inspiring, and we are very grateful. for the impact you have had on our team. Thank you for always pushing us to be our best and for showing us what true leadership is. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Your towering presence was always inspiring. Your reassuring words were stress-busting. Your constant support was highly motivating. Farewell to a boss who will be dearly missed.
So, Mr. Heyman, after 41 years at GPHA, we want to say thank you for your dedicated service. It's not easy working at GPHA for 20 years, but 41 years, that is a record.
ACFO Alfredo Kine will now take over from DCFO Edward Heyman as the Port Fire and Safety Manager in Tema.
This flag is a symbol of authority.
Let us now turn our attention to the global stage and pick a few international shipping and maritime related news.
Germany's maritime solutions provider, Schuld Group, has established Ocean Opt, a new company that will serve as a one-stop solution for emissions management for ship managers, owners, and charterers. According to Schuld Group, Ocean Opt underscores the group's commitment to sustainability and innovation. The new entity has been launched as the pressure on the maritime industry increases to demonstrate measurable progress toward climate neutrality. According to Schuld Group, Ocean Opt underscores the group's commitment to sustainability and innovation. The new entity has been launched as the pressure on the maritime industry increases to demonstrate measurable progress toward climate neutrality. Following the introduction of the International Maritime Organization's Carbon Intensity Indicator Rating Scheme and Energy Efficiency Existing Ship Index in 2023, effective this year, the shipping industry has been included in the European Union's emissions trading system, which will have a major financial impact on shipping from 2025. U.S. energy infrastructure player New York Fortress Energy has struck a deal with an undisclosed compatriot middle market infrastructure fund to unload its liquefaction and storage facility in Miami, which is said to be Florida's first privately owned liquefied natural gas plant and the first to export LNG from the continental United States to a non-free trade agreement country. While details about the definitive agreement between the two companies are scarce, with no financial information disclosed, the sale of New Fortress Energy's Miami liquefaction and storage facility is expected to close in the third quarter of 2024, subject to customary terms and conditions. With one liquefaction train capable of producing 8,300 MMBTU of LNG per day, this small-scale liquefaction facility has 3 LNG storage tanks with a total capacity of approximately 1,000 cubic meters, as well as 2 separate LNG transfer areas capable of serving both truck and rail.
Our word of the day today is cabotage.
Cabotage refers to trade or transport in coastal waters or between two ports or points within a country, especially by parties other than the domestic carriers. Many countries, such as the USA, have laws requiring domestic-owned vessels to perform domestic interport water transportation services.
Let us now take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berthed in the ports of Tema and Takoradi and at the anchorages of both ports, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. This is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of Iron Pot. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Iron Pot content can be found on our YouTube channel, Iron Pot. Subscribe, like our videos, and share them. Thank you for watching.